Welcome to Sailing Frida Wisby. So in this episode we begin by fixing that, and then we make 3 amazing road trips. First we drive south to Bonifacio, where we get lost in the narrow streets. The second trip is a mountain trip, and we go all over to the west coast and back again. On the third trip we go north and up to the northern tip. Let's summarize what's been written in the logbook before. Our story began in Yarmouth on Isle of Wight, where we bought a EP47 pilot saloon. We named her Frida, and Wisby is her home port on Gotland. We are a middle-aged couple that left our business lives to go sailing. We have sailed more than 7,000 nautical miles along the Atlantic coast of Europe, out to the Azores and into the Mediterranean Sea. We will show you our sailing, the boat works we do, and the destinations we see. Experience wildlife, historic sites and local cultures together with us. We are not sponsored by anyone, so it helps us a lot if you become a subscriber. A thumbs up or a comment makes us really happy. Big thank you to all of you that watch our videos. We are Anders and Gitte, and this is our cat Litza. Let's go to Solenzara on Corsica. An ordinary Sunday morning in Solenzara on Corsica. Corsica is the 4th biggest island in the Mediterranean Sea. It has been inhabited for more than 5,000 years and had many different rulers, but since 1769 it's French. We had a problem with it. We managed to get it out, but no, the guys are going to take it down, the whole sail. It's actually the first time we will take the sail down and off. So. Somehow the sail seems to grow when you lay it on deck. It's all over the place. Det ska den inte vara. How does it look? The guys didn't like the feeling. They felt too much resistance, so they decided to lubricate the furler a bit and also secure the pin with the wire. I suggested that we use the same oil as we do for the winches, but while I search for that, let's have a coffee break. Found it, and lubrication done, time to hoist again. After job well done, we decided to rest the rest of the day. Magnus and Lotta went for a walk, and so did we, but we ended up at a local party. We liked the cozy atmosphere and the relaxed feeling, and the band played well, so we decided to join in and get something to eat. And one of my favorite meals is galette with chèvre. We asked the marina what the event was, and it's the whole village celebrating the end of the summer. Maybe that the tourists has gone home. We have been and checked in at the marina office. Super nice woman who greeted us welcome. Look at all those flowers. It's really cozy here. A couple of small marine stores. And there I see that Lotta and Magnus is waiting for us. We have rented a car together and are going on a little excursion. We just needed to check in. They arrived on Friday, so they managed to do it before the weekend. But we arrived on Saturday, so we have just done it. On our first trip, we drove south to Bonifacio. Bonifacio is the most southern town in Corsica, and it has a very well protected natural harbor and a picturesque town on the hilltop, which has made it a strategic importance during history. As sailors, this black catamaran caught our attention, so we walked closer to check it out. It turned out to be a vessel that Anders has read about. Almost the whole hull is covered with soap sauce. Really cool technology, if you ask me. After our walk by the harbor, we decided to take the car up to the old town. Since we didn't know where to go and where to park, Anders decided to follow a random car, driving towards the city center. At first it seemed like a good idea, but then the streets got more and more narrow. It took long until we lost the car, and we joked about that the next time we decided to follow a car, choose something bigger than a smart. The problem now was how to get out of there, because we found out that Google Maps routing doesn't take the width of the street or stairs into account. The streets got even smaller, and we felt that we were at the wrong place, but some even bigger cars had found their way in, so there must be a way out. I thought that driving in a city could be this adventurous. Well, here it's definitely stopped, because this gate is narrower than a car. We had to reverse and turn around, and luckily we found a bigger car to follow.
Now we have enough space for
This is the wide road, but we are going to do a 90 degrees here. I'm so glad Anders is driving. He's been a truck driver in Stockholm City where he has experience of squeezing a vehicle through tight spaces.
Ja, det är frågan om man ska köra ner där.
Det är brant här. It's really steep.
Så ja.
Finally we made it, but we don't recommend that you do this. On our second road trip, we go to Col de Verjou. It's the highest point that you can drive to, 1,478 meters. But first we drive to a town called Gitte. So the road takes us through a lush green landscape, but then the road gets more and more mountainous.
Gjorde de inte för hand?
We drive through small villages and we go up, up, up.
Så, nu kommer vi inte här igen.
But there we find magnificent views. Then we go down again. The trip goes through beautiful villages with old houses and stunning landscape. When we arrive at the museum in Corte, we stop for a little while to enjoy the fantastic landscape, and the weather has started to clear up, although we can still see clouds hanging on the mountaintops. beautiful. And the highest peak is more than 2,700 meters. Really impressive. We are in a city called Corsica, which is in the center of Corsica, up in the mountains. And this is a museum. Our next destination is called the Virgin. And the road there was winding through a beautiful mountain landscape. It was so amazing, I wanted to film it all, but the road was so narrow and curvy that you had to take a photo stop as soon as you saw a place where you could get the car off the road. It's like some old ruin or something, maybe a castle. It's really steep down. I guess we are going that way later, on the other side of those houses. There's no fence. It's on this side. A lot of trees in Corsican forests, so it's very green.
Ja, så vi kommer nog, nu kommer vi.
The highest mountains, going towards an old ski resort. I think it's the right time of year to do a car road trip like this. The road kept on winding up and down and back and forth in this very powerful landscape with just a few farms and houses. This is mountain road. This is a real mountain road. Cool, look here. The road is cutting through the rock. I got a fear of heights and I could really feel this in my stomach and walking and looking down. But the landscape is so beautiful and powerful. Wow! What a landscape!
You hurt yourself if you drive over the cliff.
Yeah, but it's not that far down.
Yep.
But it's steep. Yeah.
That's the drop.
That's a drop, yeah, from there. And going through here. And down there. It's not much water now, but I can imagine that it can be. Despite my heart is with the sea, I can't help falling in love with this landscape. Come with us on a mountain ride. If you ever visit Corsica, don't miss this drive through the mountains, but be prepared for hairpins and high drops. This is autumn colors.
Titta där.
Titta där! And of course, free roaming cattle and sheep. We didn't expect the drive through the mountains to take so long time, so we were getting hungry, but luckily we found an open restaurant in a small village. Då är det ätkastanj säkert.
Ja, det är säkert.
Som jag. To our surprise, the small dam we saw stretches all the way to town when we looked at the map. The dam looked way bigger on the map. Food was a mix of French and Italian, very tasteful and very genuine. Cozy little restaurant. It's a skill. It didn't take long before we encountered another cow on the road. We later learned that this is actually common practice on the mountains, both on Corsica and Sardinia. But for us, coming from Sweden, this is a way of keeping cattle that we haven't seen for 100 years.
Här kommer nästa ko. Mitt in i stan.
Mitt i byn! Vad roligt! There's cows walking around. Hello. Anders said there will probably be more. And he was right, because not long after we saw these guys turning up.
Jag tänkte just säga det. Att vi har inte sett några grisar.
We were fascinated by all those free-roaming farm animals, but I can tell you the meat was delicious. The road is getting more and more narrow and bumpy, and to get past this roadwork, Anders has to prove his driving skills. We are now at an altitude of 1,170 meters, and the landscape looks almost Scandinavian. Magnus suggests a coffee break.
Ja.
Good idea!
Vad säger chauffören?
Absolut.
Wow, what a view. So beautiful. We are at 1,250 meters above sea level, and it's 17 degrees.
Berg. Ja. Ja, det är maffigt.
Anders svindel när du står där.
Då ska han flytta närmare. Tack så mycket.
Wow, what a landscape. There's a small lake over there. And, wow. And the road through here, it was a adventure in itself to drive on it. And we saw cows going loose, and we saw pigs, maybe even boars. We are a bit unsure. Really amazing. After admiring the views, it was time for fika. That means coffee.
Yes.
Mountain view this time. Refreshed by the coffee, the road trip continued up to an old ski resort where there's actually snow in the winters and the highest pass. But now in the autumn, there's donkeys on the slopes. This is the highest peak on Corsica, Monte Cinto, and is 2,706 meters above sea level. And it's quite a climb to get there. We were quite happy of getting here, called the Virgil, which is the highest place you can come with car. 1,478 meters, and it was quite chilly here. There is the other one. So much clouds. From now we are going down on the other side. Evisa. Also a mountain village. Also on this side we were met by winding roads and amazing views and deep drops. So beautiful. I think I'm falling in love with Corsica. Goats this time? Hi. They smell! Cows again. In this rugged landscape, we suddenly saw a girl selling goat cheese, and it wasn't for faint-hearted. It was an explosion of flavor and smell. Actually a little too strong in our taste, but I bought a piece anyway. Okay, you take one. I think they're less old. Okay. 10 euros.
Yes.
Maybe this. Is this the goats?
Yes.
Thank you. We also like it. No, that's not necessary. Thank you. We continue towards the west coast. We have reached the sea on the other side of Corsica, and it's beautiful. Now we're going to drive on the second famous road, the Sunset Road. Such a beautiful island. I'm stoked. Wow. Well, views like this are more or less everywhere, and the mountains are so amazing. This is steep down. I have a fear of heights, and this is a challenge, but so beautiful.
Va?
It's amazing. No wonder you got to love this island. Like a heart. And now, my friends, look to the right. Totally different landscape again. Sand dunes. These amazing excursions over the mountains to the west coast of Corsica took all day. We got a thrilling tour back over the mountains in the darkness to the boats. The next day we decided to make a shorter trip to Bastia, where Lotta and Magnus from Tintomara had not been, and the northern part of the island. We started to go back to the marina where we had been laying with the boat in Bastia, and Anders has to prove his narrow city driving again. As usual, it's a challenge to find a downtown parking place, but after driving around we found one. Apart from that we were a bit unhappy with our mooring the last time, the city itself is really worth a visit. This is Rotbelema nomadic, or nomad jellyfish. Although it's beautiful, this jellyfish is covered with stinging cells and venom that is quite painful to humans. The species belongs in tropical water. It's considered an invasive species in the Med. It can measure up to 60 centimeters and weigh 10 kilos. Bastia. We're showing friends from Tintomara why we thought that was not a good idea they came, because when we were here, this entire was full and we were squeezed in next to the lagoon here. Now we will look for a restaurant, because there's lots of restaurants here in Bastia, and this is the old town and it's very cute. We continue our road trip north. And here in this part you should look for green rocks. On our way north we discuss what mineral that makes those green rocks that the northern Corsica is famous for. The stone is called smaragdite or emerald, and it's often used as gemstone. Here in the north, the landscape is a bit different from what we saw yesterday. More smooth. But make no mistake, the hair-raising hairpin corners are still there. And so are the beautiful sea road views. And the goats. Okay, time for goats again. Hi, goatie. This must be one of the most beautiful islands I think we have been at. The roads, they are just amazing, regardless if it's up in the mountain or this coastal road. We are now on the northwest side of Corsica. Not only the heights and the hairpins that challenge you, this bridge also made me challenge my fear. What do you think? Again, the sun has set before we came home to our boats, and we were very tired after another amazing road trip. The next day we had to return the car, and it was a very windy day. It's going up to 40 knots in the gust. That was expected. But I'm editing, and this is watching videos, I think. You're relaxing. It is really windy now, especially in the gusts, and see the water coming in, being pushed in. It almost looks like it's boiling over there. We are relatively protected in the mountains. It's much windier on the other side. As usual, we have a weather passage plan meeting on Frida Wisby. We are looking for a weather window to go to Olbia on Sardinia. Looks like we can go tomorrow. Last evening on Corsica, and we are eating out. In the next episode, we get a lively sail to Sardinia, and there we also see a famous YouTube boat. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. We support your brain. Please do the same.